Artem loves Lee Chin. That's why.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Whatever This Is podcast. We're back as usual. Thursday night recording. I did not prepare an intro, so I'm just going to freestyle for the first 20 seconds before I introduce my guests. First of all, oh my god, he's going to be offended again. But it's my usual co-host. I called him a guest again. My bad, Artem. What's up? How you doing? What's
I'm
going on?
good. I'm good. Can I just say I don't think there's any guests on this podcast anymore. I think that
It's all a family.
the second person we have on here today has already been in 10% of our episodes at least. So I think he needs another title.
Yeah, so you've already heard him. It's the man again, David Sansun, Twitter's resident Russian football analyst, an FNL merchant, man with the best talent ID of Russian football on Twitter. You've heard him before. He's back. We're honored. David, what's up? How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's I just love coming on and having a chat. And if it's about Russian football, then we're on topic, and if not, then we're not on topic.
Can I just say, big up David, because you stepped in with like 2 hours to go or something. We did have another guest lined up, but David really saved us when he couldn't make it. So, thank you for that.
I would say it's just because it's locked down, I can't do anything. But really, it's just because I have no life.
It's just because you love us.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
And it's you. I was so yeah. I was like,
David actually messaged me yesterday. He was like, yo, you need a guest for the pod? I'm like, yeah, sure, brother. Come on, it's your family. But we had another guest lined up, and I told him, and he was like, nah, keep that. 4 people is a crowd. It's good. It's better when it's 3. And then our guest had some other commitments, so David stepped in like a super sub, Mr. Reliable, and he's back.
yeah, man.
We don't really have much to talk about. I think the last week we came on, it was
Hanu, you don't start a podcast like that. People are just gonna click straight off. You tell them
No
you don't
one
have
is
anything to talk about, and
we
there's
said-
no content.
No. There's content. Watch. This is content. If you click off, go watch this. Click off and go watch this. We put tons of work into it. RFN is now producing video content. We did a 15-minute video on the World Cup, how Russia defied all expectations at the World Cup. Shout out Connor, who did the visualization and the narration. Shout out Artem, who did the production. Shout out everybody who listened, everybody who liked, retweeted, whatever. We've got more stuff on the way. RFN is getting to the next level, inshallah, this year, as we keep going. Artem, you got anything to say about this video before we talk about your mans?
I really appreciate all the credit I'm getting for like the very little work that I did on this video. Like, don't get me wrong, right? We put the idea together, but this video was you and Connor. Like, you just put all the effort into it, and I was just kind of like took a back seat. But that's not always going to be the case, and I'm going to make sure that I get a good script out for next week or the week after. So
you're that guy who sat behind Mark Zuckerberg and then sued him for half of Facebook.
That's like pretty much. I've already kind of got my legal papers.
But as a neutral, like, I was not involved at all in the production of the video. It was great stuff, and it's the step that RFN needs to go in, and it was a really good video. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else comes from you through. We got ideas and upon ideas and articles upon articles to potentially put into video form, and I'm really looking forward to how you guys can take it forward. Definitely.
Yeah, 2021 is going to be the RFN year. We're going to make sure of that.
We appreciate that, though, David. And if any of you guys listening want to do something with RFN, if you want to write an article, if you want to if you're good at like graphic design or something like that, just hit us up. Like, hit any of the 17 accounts we have, among us.
And it can be like literally anything. Like Hanu said, it can be graphic design because we're looking at getting new graphics in. It can be literally anything. If there's any idea that you think you can put forward, absolutely do it. Like, don't think that like RFN, like, oh, we've got 13k followers or whatever it is, and it's like we're unreachable and we're not going to take any ideas on board. Not the case. We really want to make RFN as best as possible. So please, any suggestions, anything whatsoever, if you can help the site whatsoever, anyway.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're always looking for new writers. a really good group of guys. A lot of the guys who have been with RFN for a number of years are unfortunately, growing up and getting jobs, and they're losing a bit of time which they would normally put towards RFN. So we're just looking for that next generation. There was once upon a time where Artem was, a 17-year-old kid who was tweeting us, and then we was like, "Hey man, do you want to come write for us?" And now look at him; he's co-hosting a podcast for us. And I was once, and I'm, a little youth who only tweeted about Rubin Kazan, and now look at me. So, if you've got any interest in Russian football,
you here to
shoot us a
make me cry or
message.
something?
Well, Hanu, oh yeah, well,
getting all emotional. Like, oh, Artem was 17. I'm like, man, this is sad, man. Like,
well, I didn't want to talk about Hanu's past because let's be honest, he's had so many Twitter bans.
like, don't talk about.
This is not even worth talking about.
I was born.
Hanu, what David is trying to get across to you right now is one day
exactly
you're going to be older, like me and David.
Yeah. Well, you two are still relatively young. I will be 29 this year.
That's still young.
Yeah. So yeah, we're always looking for new writers. If you think you like Russian football, if you're a writer, and you fancy writing for us, just shoot us a message on Twitter or our email, and we'll see what we can do. We've got a really good community. We're always looking to add to it.
Will we go on to the content?
Yeah.
We have the only reason we're like dragging the intro out is because we have nothing to talk about except for this one topic.
Stop saying that. We do have things to talk about.
You are literally like, I can see every single time. You know what? 2 weeks from now, actually, you know what? A week from now, I want you to go into YouTube stats of this video, the one that we're talking in right now. And every single time that you say we have nothing to talk about, I promise there is a spike downwards of people listening.
Yo, man, we got a loaded episode for y'all. Mad transfers going on. Artem, this was the best week of Artem's life. Alexander Kokorin, Artem's man, is confirmed as a Fiorentina player. Artem somehow knows the name of his son, who's super dripped out. Is it actually Maikl Kokorin?
It's actually Maikl, but it's not spelled like Michael. It's spelled Maikl, which is even fucking cooler.
That's swag. That's swag. I respect it. Yeah, but the main thing I want to talk about, we'll get into the transfer. I just want to talk about how many times they've announced this guy, right? It's like they signed Lionel Messi. It's honestly like, okay, so you've got 1, you've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's more. There's lots more. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and about 6 to 7, that 23, 24, 25. Artem, are you Fiorentina's social media guy? Do you own them or something?
I really didn't want you to find out like this, but yes.
I mean, see, that's the reason, right? There's no other reason. And Artem was loving he was liking all of it. He was like.
By the way, did you notice that Fiorentina also made a Russian account? They are well on the hype. They know exactly.
It wasn't
what to
official,
do.
though, was it?
Official.
I didn't think it was official.
It's not official.
Okay, well, whoever made that is.
It was the same. Like there was I remember a guy messaged me when Miranchuk moved, and he said, "Oh, I've got the biggest Telegram channel about Miranchuk and at Atalanta going. Help me publish it." And I looked, and it was big enough that it didn't need my help already. But Russians will love it. But does it sort of stink of small club mentality when you're publishing a signing of a 29-year-old ex-con so much?
Hey, yo, Artem, you're gonna throw hands with David. Refute that argument.
Yeah, you know what? I genuinely think he's gonna do well.
Yeah. You know what? Like, all joking aside, we know he's an excellent striker on his day. And it's a shame that he's going to come in and he's behind Vlahovic, I think his name is, the youngster who's like on fire right now.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. I presume he won't play for a while because he's probably not match fit.
Yeah.
But we'll see. He's had a wild journey the last fucking 2 years. From prison to this is a wild journey.
It's insane, but I honestly, just based off the interviews he's had and everything, he seems happy, and I think that I feel like there was just so much shit against him in Russia. Like I feel like last season, okay, he played in Sochi, but like Sochi's a little bit away from everything else. You know what I mean? Like no one was expecting Sochi to like do anything in the league, whereas like Spartak this season, there was a good bit of pressure on Kokorin, and because he was only scoring penalties, you know, like a lot of people were kind of name calling him, and you know, like there was a bit of bad press about him and things like that. Like I feel like over in Italy, like at least he won't be able to understand the hate, so that could be good for him.
It was such a pointless signing from Spartak, though. That was the thing, right?
You say that, but they ended up making a profit.
They didn't need him. Yeah, but they didn't need him. Like they had a good strike
Would
force there.
Would you rather have something you don't need or 4.5 million euros?
Yeah, but how much were they paying? How much were they paying him in wages for that time?
His wages were 3 million. So let's say it's not this because he only signed them, I think, like August or something like that. But let's say it's 1.5 mil that they paid.
They even on a personal level, let's just say he had moves in the summer that he could have made to Europe, but instead he just sat in Spartak.
Yeah, but he played 40.
I feel like he moved to Spartak purely to give a middle finger to Zenit fans for 6 months, and then has taken the first opportunity to go to Europe again.
Maybe, yeah, but to be honest, I don't blame him. Like I've said a million times about how I really, really don't like how Zenit treated him. Like I genuinely think that, like, the way that they were all behind him, the way that Semek, all the players came out in support of Kokorin and said like, oh, when the minute he's back, like, we need him, like, we want him back in the squad. And the minute he was back, they just didn't even post about him. They just released him, let him go.
Yeah, they didn't post a single thing from him getting jailed to him getting back to him going to Sochi.
Who was it who said? Someone posted in the chat that Kokorin's not even his real name. I didn't know that until recently.
What?
It's not his birthday. He changed his name, like in court or something.
What?
Someone told. Was it Alexei who wrote that, or did I just read it somewhere else?
Artem, you're the Kokorin insider. Is this true?
I don't think that's the case. I do know.
I read it.
Do you know what I think it is?
I read it on his wiki.
You know what I think it is? I think it's his name.
Oh my god, he actually was. His name was Kartashov. That's a trash ass name. Kokorin is better. I changed my name too.
Wait. It says change his surname lately.
That's his bad
translation. What's the source? Click on the source.
Sources do trust me.
I think that's I think that might be his.
I presume that's just a bad
his mom's name. I think it's his mom's name or his.
Kokorina. Well, yeah, I mean, Kokorin is a Russian surname. Like I've certainly seen other people with that surname.
It doesn't say anything about his name though.
Yeah, but that's a big old interview. It's probably in there somewhere. Isn't it?
Anyways, like.
But that's pretty.
I saw it there. I go back up. It was like in the second paragraph. I swear.
That is.
I swear I saw the word Kartashov.
That is pretty insane.
Control F at Hanu.
There you go, Kokorin Kartashov.
So it was probably something like that. I can't be asked like, oh, there you go. Alexander Kokorin this was the name of his father. His mother got married by the second time. He wanted to be loyal to his mother, so he changed it to Kokorin. He stuck with his mom.
Yeah, exactly. That's I thought it was that. But I've got two questions here for you. Right, and the first question is Kokorin going to be the last person born in the Soviet Union to move to a top 5 league?
What's the cut for that? What's the cut against the Soviet Union?
1991.
Yeah,
he was born maybe 5 months or something before the. Because I feel like he's in that stage where he's turning 30 now this year.
Yeah,
go for like older Soviet players.
Even Golovin was born obviously in actual Russia rather than Soviet Union, right? So
I think
I think surely that's got to be right.
Y'all remember when Gabilov went to Club Brugge for 6 months?
Yeah, but we're talking big Artem.
But we're talking about top 5 leagues.
I know. I think some weird ass transfer like that will take place at some point. It won't be anything we care about. It won't be anything massive. It'll just be like, I don't know, like Zabolotny going to Sheffield United or some really weird, stupid transfer which doesn't work out.
Well, if he moves to Sheffield
it's all
United,
possible
then
now.
he'll probably be playing at the Championship.
All possible now with the new work permit stuff.
Yeah, I think he'd qualify as well. Maybe not.
I forgot about that.
Maybe not.
Made that work.
What was your other question, Artem? What do you think?
My other question, I think that, see, it's difficult to tell. I think he probably will be the last person born in the Soviet Union to move into the top 5 leagues. But then again, I might be missing someone from Ukraine or someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean we're talking Russian only, like the last.
Okay, well Russian only then. Yeah, I'd say so because I can't imagine someone like Talagov or something.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, and the second question is, does he make it back into the national team?
If he plays
Depends
well,
what
I
he's
think
being
he
left
should.
out for.
I think if he plays well, he should. I think he's not like the other Russian guys that are. I mean, like the Zhukov, not Zhukov, whoever that guy was that Cherchesov called in, who plays in the second Bundesliga. I think he's a very high-profile player, so I think if he plays well, he should get in because Russia only have right now Zuba. Smolov is trash. Sobolev, I think he should. Yeah. What do you think?
It depends.
David?
It depends on why he's not being called up. Is it because of his prison thing that he's not being called up, or is it because of his form? Because let's be honest, he was in decent form, but is he not being called up because of the controversy of his past?
I think it was.
Well, see, the thing is, I can't imagine Cherchesov is the biggest fan of Kokorin after, Kokorin made fun of him in the past.
Oh yeah.
But then again, so did Zuba. So it's honestly such a tough one because no one really knows why he's like.
But
obviously,
imagine the PR nightmare, like Russia. Let's just say go to Euro 2021 with Kokorin. Imagine like all the stories like linking the violence in 2016 versus Kokorin being in prison or something. Like it would just be everywhere, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
but we know that obviously Cherchesov takes notice of these things because he left Zuba out over the whole leaked video thing. So it'd be an interesting one.
Well, it's also a question of whether Cherchesov's still going to be there or not. It might not be this. Like Kokorin signed a 3-year contract, and he is only 29. He's turning 30 this year, but there's still a lot of time for him to be in the national team. Like it's not unusual to see like a lot of older players play for Russia. So.
Zherkov is still playing.
It's a perfect indicator of the current market. Like the fact that clubs are looking to Russia is because it's cheap for most players. Players that like Smolov was cheap relatively. Let's just say he was like 8 mil or something. Kokorin was cheap. I think I read earlier the Premier League clubs they've only signed in England have only made 4 permanent transfers between them so far in January, and we're almost at the end. Right. So. I think Russia's just more open on the market because of the lower prices and the fact that a lot of clubs maybe are less well off than they might well have been. And Kokorin's benefited.
I don't know. I mean, I love it. First of all, we love it. We always love to see. We've talked about it millions of times here. Oh, yeah, I did say to Artem privately that I think Russia is going to explode, and I think that's going to happen. I think because I think the thing that happened is Kokorin's been on the radar of loads of clubs for a while, especially in Italy. And people are seeing Miranchuk and Shomurodov do really well. So they're like, oh, this might be a nice market. And I think we just need these players to do well. And then the market is going to open and then we're going to just be big. And by the way, I do think that Kokorin will play for Russia again. I don't think he's made his last appearance for Russia. But Artem, what do you think of David's theory about Kokorin being signed because of less money?
I mean, I think there's definitely a factor of that in it. I do think that, like, you're not getting a player of Kokorin's quality for 4 million anywhere else in the world. It's not happening. And it's partly because of his recent form. It's partly because of the prison thing. But, like, I really think that this is a bargain no matter how they look at it. Like, obviously, Kokorin also has been tracked by Fiorentina for quite a while. And, like, it helps that a lot of Italian managers are big fans of him. Like, Mancini... Like when Mancini was at Zenit, Kokorin was one of the best players in the team, and like Mancini would always play him, like whether it's on the left or front or anywhere else.
Oh, yeah, and, that was his big resurgence, right? Under Mancini, he had an amazing season there.
That's the
until
thing.
his injury, right?
He was the main player in that squad that season, and it was like that was the real highlight of that season for me because everything else was shit. But
Yeah.
and then Capello also was a big fan of his. Like Capello started him for Russia when he was the manager back in 2013-14. So like I think that also played a massive factor in it because like you've got these two really well respected coaches in Italy being told that like look, you're not gonna like go wrong with signing this guy for 4 million. Like it's not a big risk to take. So I don't know. I think that there's a couple of factors that got him signed. Like I think overall, you look at him, like you look at his ability, what he can be. You look at his age; he's not that old. You look at the amount he's going to cost. Like the only real downside is that his wages are quite high, but that's the only thing I think. Like I think that there's
Yeah.
there's so much benefit there is. You can have so much benefit from having Kokorin on your team, and there's very
For
little
sure.
downside. So I think that it's a good transfer for Fiorentina. I don't know if that even answered your question, Hanu, to be honest.
I don't remember my question anymore, honestly. But I agree with you. And you know what? The more I think about it, I come to the conclusion that the Russian league is actually pretty good, and that this European slump has been a complete coincidence. Because some stat came out yesterday that in terms of pressing intensity, Russia is the second best in like the big leagues after Spain. And I feel like if I was a club in the Serie A or something, I feel
You're
like the
really
players.
bringing up XP, aren't you?
I don't know what I just listen. Sometimes when you're defending the motherland, you have to like be dodgy for a second, right?
You got to make up stats.
Exactly. No, you don't have to make up stats. You just have to use stats you otherwise wouldn't use. Um, but yeah, that was the thing. Then because we've seen, and I don't like to talk about farmer leagues, but I watched like a Dutch league game, a Belgian league game a couple weeks ago, and they're not farmer leagues, but their play style is such that we would score goals in those leagues. Whereas Russia and Italy are similar because defensive, like clubs are a bit more defensive. So a forward that is really doing well in Russian football is rare and is of high quality. And we've
Yeah.
seen that with Shomurodov, who is making Diego Godin look like Victor Vasin in Italy. Miranchuk keeps scoring, scored again against Lazio, won them the quarterfinal. And I feel like Kokorin is equally talented, if not more talented than both of those players. So
I think you're spot on there that the Russian league is quite defensive. So like people might look at you know certain strikers and say like, well, he's only scored like 1 in 3 games in in the Russian league, but like it is way more difficult, I think, to score in Russia than it would be in a lot of other leagues. Like, and I think that like it makes it even more impressive. Like, okay, like someone like Zuba, you can kind of understand why he scores a lot of goals in Russia because he can go like head to head with those strong defenders, like those real physical types. Whereas like someone like Kokorin or like Smolov or anything, it makes it more impressive when they do play well against those kind of defenses. If that makes sense, like.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
I
so
do also think that Russian league has some of the best goalkeepers in the world. I think that like
yeah,
as a whole, like I don't think
Yeah,
there's a league that has better goalkeepers on average.
yeah,
I
I've
agree.
definitely said that before. Yeah, the standard of Russian goalkeepers might not be high on a worldwide standard, but across the league, the standard is pretty consistent. Like once you get past the top 2 or 3 goalies, like we did it recently. Like we all ranked
Yeah,
the goalies like at some point last year, and it was like the top 4. Then there was like 10 goalies in the middle, and then after that there was maybe 2 who you would say are definitely at the bottom. But it was very difficult to rank them.
But even like we did it based on club, and then people started bringing up the fact that well, some clubs actually have better sub keepers.
yeah,
Yeah, and then I did the
And
second choices too.
yeah, so like there's so many good keepers in Russia. And speaking of keepers, actually, did you hear the rumors about Maksimenko?
yeah. To West
Yeah,
Ham,
yeah,
that's big.
That would be cool.
Anything would be cool, man.
Who's
I
their
just
keeper?
hope keeper is Fabianski, who's like
Fabianski, who's
33.
old.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
but
thing.
he's good though. He's better than Maximenko. Like, let's be honest.
Mm,
Yeah,
I don't remember seeing much of him.
I mean,
but yeah, I
at
mean,
Arsenal,
sure.
he was called Flappy Hansky for a while. So
Yeah, but like that was so long. Like I feel like Fabianski
yeah.
has
yeah,
been
he's a very
solid
solid
keeper.
He's a
goalkeeper,
good keeper.
no doubt.
But their thing is that he's old and he's probably going to move on in the next couple of years, so they need someone to
Yeah, he's
take
like
over.
35 now.
Well, in that case, I'd be up for that if he could teach Maksimenko a few things. Because look, Maksimenko has his own Fabianski moments.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So if Fabianski can tell Maksimenko
How to clap his hands.
what he's done to change that and make himself one of the more solid keepers in the Premier League, we might really have a quality keeper.
We
Maybe
really
one of
should.
Russia's best.
Yeah, and I think I was listening to this Capital FM run by Alan Moore, and he was talking about how Russian football, like, it costs more to hold a match with fans than it, like, the money you get from fan revenue or from match day revenue is less than like the cleaning costs and the maintenance cost and so on. So on an operational basis, clubs actually lose money, and
I
like
feel like that
sport.
depends on the club and how many fans show up.
Yeah, but most of them lose money. Apparently, is what he
Yeah,
said.
like Rubin, like the Kazan Arena or whatever it's called, Akbar's Arena now. Like they're gonna play a match, they'll get no more than probably 10,000 fans in there, right?
Yeah,
But
that's,
see,
that's making some loss.
I feel like that's a slightly different scenario to like say someone like Zenit and Spartak who could fill their stadiums almost every week. You know?
Yeah, but that's I
Yeah.
think that was what Alan's generalization probably was looking
Yeah,
at.
it was. He was talking
I
about.
think. Can I just say, David? I think that Rubin would probably get more fans in now than 10,000, purely because of like
They're
I
a
feel
good
like the
team
team
again.
are playing better football. I feel like Slutsky's a character. Like the team's kind of full of like the team's a bit of fun now. Because like
Yeah.
a year ago, Rubin was one of the probably the most boring teams in the league. I'm sure you'd agree with that.
Yeah, it was tough. It'd be interesting because, like, obviously, Russian football obviously is going to come back in about a month's time, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
And presumably, there'll be fans just like there was for the first half of the season. Like Russia was one of the only leagues that basically never stopped fans from attending, although they'd limited it for the most part.
The
So
funniest part
that'll
is
be
how
good
they
to see.
limited it though. Instead of being like, oh yeah, like you have to social distance in the stadium. Yeah, we'll just pack out one section of the stadium.
That Spartak, what was it? Spartak Dinamo game, the one that
Yeah.
Yashevsky covered 4-3-3.
It was there was mad fans in there. There was no distancing. People were naked.
People are always naked in Russian football. It's ridiculous.
It is.
We were just obviously talking about the top goal scorers, right? And like scoring, like Senko last year scored what, like however many goals, 15 or 14,
16, yeah.
and that was like pretty impressive. And they got me wondering, like, in recent years, what has the top scorer done? Like, and I just got it up. So from 2000 onwards, only two players have scored more than 20 goals in a season, which was Wellington for Spartak in 2009, and then so did Doumbia for Cisco in 2011. And Doumbia scored 28.
Jesus
and then
Christ.
Wellington scored 21. So Doumbia's 28 is the biggest by a mile. And then since 2010, it's 19, 13, 18, 15, 18, 15, 17. And the only exception is Smolov hitting 20 back in 2015. So, like...
Smolov is another player that I feel like if he gets a good move abroad, he can do well still. Because his talent is immense.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him go to, he went to Celta Vigo. At least he took that risk and did it. He didn't get signed permanently, but he scored 2 goals and it was against Real and Barcelona or something.
Yeah.
You got to rate it.
He'll remember that for life.
Yeah, and that's the second time he moved as well, remember? Because he went to Feyenoord when he was young.
Feyenoord as well.
Yeah, but he didn't score a goal there.
No, true.
Which is fucking hilarious. I remember
he did score a goal, apparently. According to Wiki, he was only a loan though. I thought he went permanently for some reason.
No. He went on loan. No, there was a 2-year period where Fyodor Smolov didn't score a single goal,
yeah.
and I remember like this is kind of around the same time that I was getting into Russian football a bit more, and like he was such a meme, and I was like, oh man, I really hope that guy comes good, and then he moved to Ural, and everything changed. Like he went from being a meme to one of the best players in the league, easily.
That's why I still think that he should be like that Hall of Fame conversation. Going back to that, I think he should be in there. But my original point
I think Fyodor Smolov is probably at this point in his career not as fussed about football as he used to be. I feel like there was a 3 or 4 year period where he was like really focused on, like I just want to be the best player I can be, and now he seems to be more like relaxed. He seems to be like just enjoying hanging out with people and just kind of taking it easy. Like I feel like the best of him is behind.
I
Us,
mean, but I
unfortunately.
think you can say the exact same for Kokorin as well, though.
I don't think so. I don't think you can, because I think like clearly him going to Fiorentina shows that he's motivated to do that. Like,
No, but I think Smolov would do the same if he got a chance.
but he did get the chance, and he moved to Celta Vigo, and now he's back. And I don't think he's. I don't
Maybe
think
that
he's
maybe
maybe
that
looking
made him a
for.
bit sad. But I think if an offer comes for him again, I think he'll take it.
I
Honestly,
don't
I
know,
think
because he had a tough time when he was over at Celta Vigo personally, because
I
he
think
like
yeah.
he was over there during like the start of the coronavirus, and he was stuck in his apartment the whole time, and like he openly spoke out about how like bored he was over there at that point, and like that's the reason he flew back to Russia, like for his girlfriend. We won't say what age she is. Her birthday, like, so.
But
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
he didn't exactly have the best spell there, so I can imagine that would maybe put off people in the future.
Exactly. Yeah.
An aging striker who didn't really hit it well for Celta Vigo.
That's the thing. Like,
I mean, it's
Smolov's
hard
what,
to
31
tell.
now?
Yeah, I think he's done. I think Smolov's time's done. He missed the big chances back when he was killing it at Krasnodar. He was definitely getting offers.
That move to Lokomotiv for what, 9 or 15 million
Yeah,
was
that was a bad.
it was such
It
a
was a
dumbass
lateral. It
move.
was a lateral move, and I said it at the time.
Yeah,
If
it makes sense.
I think West Ham were the club who were really in for him at one stage.
And then they
properly.
bought Jordan
Fucking
again.
Jordan Hugill.
Jordan Hughes.
Oh, that
Like in
was
the
I couldn't
championship
believe
now.
that. Yeah, he's just. I think is he doing all right now? I can't remember. Is he just constantly on the move between clubs?
Slum team in the championship. Real Madrid were linked to Smolov Artem, weren't they?
They were. I thought you were going to say Real Madrid were linked to Jordan Hugill.
No, you know what? I think he would have done well at Real Madrid, Smolov.
I think so as well.
Signed him for £10 million.
Yeah, some dumb.
Yeah.
Like they could have got Smolov for £5 million more at that point.
I genuinely think that Smolov would have done well at Real Madrid. Like, I think that there's like some people don't seem to understand that there are certain players who do really well at the smaller clubs and certain players who do really well at the like bigger clubs. Like, you can have a player like fucking like, say, Mesut Ozil, right? When he's playing for a top team, like when he has the freedom to do the shit he wants to do, he's regarded as one of the best players in the world. When he's playing in that Arsenal side that are slightly struggling, and he doesn't like put in the like effort that people expect of him, then he's regarded as one of the shittest in that team. Like, I feel like,
and I mean, yeah, go on, my bad.
No, I just feel like Smolov would have done really well at Real, because I feel like he would have fit in. Like, if you get the ball in the box, right? Say, like, I don't even know. This would have been back when Ronaldo was there as well, and a few other players and stuff. Like, I feel like he would have just there would have been goals there for him to have.
Exactly, because I mean a few things, because I think you said with some players doing well at top clubs. I thought Shomurodov would be one of them because he's insane in the box, but he's doing well at Genoa as well, and I didn't think he would do as well. And what was the other thing you said? Oh yeah, about Smolov. The thing with us is that, like, Luka Jovic was terrible for Real Madrid, but that's because of his style of play. He's like a target man merchant guy, right? Who can shoot, but you need to get the ball to him. But Smolov is a lot similar to Karim Benzema. And Karim Benzema gets service, and he moves around with the ball, and he shoots and he scores. So if you have Toni Kroos and Modric in the midfield, and if you have Asensio, Cristiano Ronaldo, whoever, and you're just getting the ball to Smolov, who takes a couple of touches, Smolov's going to get goals because he has that ability, right? He did fairly well at a Celta team that was struggling. So I don't know. I agree. I feel like he would have done well there as well. Ozil as well. Yeah, my bad. That was the thing I forgot. Ozil, I really wish him the best of luck at Fenerbahce. He's, I think, one of my 5 favorite players of all time. absolute legend, one of the most talented footballers,
Can I
attacking
guess the other
midfielders
four?
we've ever seen. Yeah, go on.
Okay, right. Ronaldo,
Yes,
Keylor Navas.
yes.
So Ozil's one of them. So there's two more in the
Yeah.
top five. I'm genuinely going to say
Actually-
Shomurodov was one of them.
I think currently Shomurodov would be fifth, but I don't have like a fifth.
Okay, well, let's just put him there. So I'm right.
Yeah, let's put him there, sure. One
And
more.
then there's one more. I just feel like, based on... I'm going to say Sergio Ramos.
Marcelo,
Nah,
right?
It's
You love
Marcelo. Yeah, it's Marcelo.
Fuck!
I just love Marcelo, man. It hurts my soul to see him like bad these days. What a footballer he was in his prime, man. One of the best footballers we've ever seen, to me. The best left back ever. I don't care what Roberto Carlos says, Angie says. What a player.
Would you take him at Sochi?
Of course, I'd take him at Sochi. Take him anywhere. He'd be the league's top scorer at Sochi, man. He's that good.
Well, then maybe he might get a move to Fiorentina as well.
Yeah. But you know what? Before we get to our next topic, Artem, I'm gonna guess your 5 favorite. And then
Oh my god, I don't even think I have a list. Like, go on.
actually,
Do you know what? I
David,
have
do you
kind of
have
a
a list?
general idea of some players, so go on.
All right, fair. Then we'll do David. Then Artem will do David. Right. So I think one is Ronaldo.
Yeah, spot on.
Which
Then
Ronaldo? Hold on, which Ronaldo?
Cristiano.
Yeah, no, he's right.
Then Kokorin, obviously.
He'd be up there, yeah.
You're his PR agent. He's up there. Shut up. I'm gonna say Zuba. Might be wrong though.
No, see, like, I like Zuba, but I don't know if he's my top 5.
Right, fair.
Like, the players I love the most ever, you know?
I was thinking someone Irish, but you don't really rep Ireland, so not Robbie Keane.
Just, I don't know, I always grew up, like, I always said I was Russian. Like, if Russia played against Ireland, I'd support Russia, so.
Wayne Rooney is one. I'm sure of that. Wayne Rooney
He's not
Wait,
actually.
What?
No, I love Rooney, but he's not in my top 5. See, the thing is, it might just be because I haven't actually made a list of my top 5, but I can tell you that Ronaldo and Kokorin's probably up there as well.
Who else is up there though? Because I don't know what to do now.
I'm trying to think.
Oh my.
Right, do you know what? Actually, ask David or guess David's, and I'll
Right.
try and think of mine.
David, Kuicha is one.
No, come on, man. He's only come around it last year.
Aaron Ramsey.
Aaron Ramsey, no.
What time?
I
Thierry
love him,
Henry.
love the man, but
Thierry Henry.
sorry.
Thierry Henry.
Yeah. To be fair, I've been thinking while Artem was thinking, I was trying to think, and I could only come up with 2 for definite.
Is Thierry Henry one?
Yeah, he was one of them, definitely.
Is the other one Arsenal?
No,
And so that is one then.
no, hadn't thought about him.
Oh,
He
Karadeniz.
could be up there. No, it's not. He's not even related to Russian football.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that. Is he related to English football?
No,
Who the hell is that then? I don't know. Who is it?
oh, no, I'm Ronaldo.
Oh, okay.
I
That
know.
was it.
1998 World Cup was my first football World Cup. It was almost pretty much my first introduction to football, and from about the age of 6, which is when I was born 92, 2 days before Jordan Hugel. Actually, I just noticed. From about the age of 6 to about the age of 16, I had a poster on my wall with Artem, Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, Rivaldo, Denilson, and Taffarel. They were the big 5 lined up on this big poster on my wall, and I supported Brazil at the World Cups up until 2010 probably.
Oh, yeah,
Just loved Artem Ronaldo.
That's
Just loved
pretty
Artem
cool,
Ronaldo.
R9 was good. For me, Ronaldinho was always one of the goats as well. I actually, do you know what, Hanu? I actually looked back at my. Remember those posts were going around? It's like put picture of your 4 favorite footballers.
Yeah.
I just remember that existed. So I've got Kokorin, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, and Arshavin.
Arshavin's a good one. Yeah. There's certain
Do you know,
players. Go on.
David, you'll remember these videos. Do you remember Jogo Bonito?
I remember Jogo Bonito.
Were they the best videos of all time, or were they the best videos of all
They're
time?
pretty
Wait,
good.
nah. See, now my man is talking. I watched them just a couple of days ago. Y'all remember that
I was going to say
Brazil-Portugal?
the Brazilian national team in the airport.
Sensational. The best, one of the best
So
videos
good.
I've seen.
One of my favorite ones is also Zlatan against Ronaldo. I really like that one too. We are going to get taken down.
I don't care. Oh, we're not going to take it. Look at that.
I don't care. Oh.
It's some random fella who put it up. This is from like 19. I don't know. It's from mad long ago. No one's going to do anything to us. But this was beautiful.
Oh my god! Like, so good. It's like bald Zlatan against Ronaldo as well. Oh, amazing.
But there was certain players before my time that I really wanted to see that I really want to see in their prime. That Ronaldo, the bald Ronaldo is one. Ronaldinho is one. Zidane is one. Roberto Carlos probably. Kaká I saw a bit of at Real Madrid and he was pretty good. But like prime Kaká, I still would like to see that.
So, just thinking of this, you called that Ronaldo bald Ronaldo. Did you hear what Kokorin called him the other day in the interview?
No.
He was like, yeah, like I watched the league now. Like this is him talking about Serie A. He was like, yeah, I watched the league now. Like I'm interested in watching Ronaldo and Zlatan and those kind of players. Like I follow their stats, and I used to watch it back in the day. I used to watch the other Ronaldo, the fat one.
Well, that's what he's known. I mean, sadly, that's what he was known as for ages. And I won't disrespect him like that. Oh, no, I'm Ronaldo, or just Ronaldo.
No.
If you mean Cristiano Ronaldo, you need to say Cristiano Ronaldo.
No,
but
I still would call him Fat Ronaldo. I just thought it was hilarious that a footballer, when he moved into a club, called him that.
Yeah, but I mean, that was like his. That's because that's why he retired, didn't he? When in Corinthians in like 2010, because everyone kept calling him fat, and that really got to him. Like,
to be fair, his injuries took over his career. Like if he didn't have his injuries, oh my god, we probably would have seen like Messi, Ronaldo level player.
Is the Brazilian Alan Zagoev?
I think that's not a bad show. Although Ronaldo just had like one really bad injury and it just never was the same after that. Like I feel like Zagoev is just like he's just injured every part of his body.
Yeah, I must admit I'm getting worried that Golovin's going the same way. Seems to just be constantly injured.
Nah,
but the difference though is Golovin already plays abroad. Yeah. At least he has that. I feel like his injuries don't seem to be as extreme as Alan's either. But I just hope that doesn't change.
Yeah, but Golovin, shout out Golovin, because I think at the weekend he came on at halftime and got 2 assists and won Monaco the game. Big up.
Both from corners, but we'll take them.
Yeah, corners.
Assist.
Exactly.
I think I probably actually would pick Gogdaniz in my top 5. And I think I'd probably have to pick Bergkamp too.
No,
but it's a tough one. I think most of my top 5 would end up coming from Arsenal. Fabregas was up there, but then he obviously deserted us. As was Van Persie. I love Van Persie.
People just desert Arsenal just without any care in the world, man. Every year you have like some guy snitching off to some other club.
It was fucking Ashley Cole started it. I remember I was on holiday when that all kicked off.
Do you remember when Walcott made his debut? He scored against Chelsea in like the FA Cup final or something. Wasn't that his debut?
Yeah. Carling Cup. It wasn't his final. I don't think it was his debut. It was the Carling Cup final, and he scored. It was his first goal for the club though. Like we signed him in January 6 with Adebayor and Diaby because I had that poster on my wall. I remember, out of like Match magazine or something.
I was a big fan
because we were wearing the maroon shirt with the gold 02 on it for that season. And we signed Diaby, Walcott, Adebayor in one window.
Such a good team.
I mean, that was like my big era of Arsenal when Highbury era. I went to Highbury once, and I remember watching. That was when I was starting to get into Arsenal really. Like I supported Arsenal, but I wasn't necessarily watching Match of the Day every week at that stage.
Mm-hmm.
But sort of as we were transitioning to the Emirates, that's when everything Arsenal really is quite vivid in my head. Like. So that all of that period, from that period onwards, it was like, that was my big Arsenal stage. where I was
Have you-
watching every game.
So did you go to Highbury before it was
I went to Highbury once when I was 1999, Arsenal versus Watford was the only game I ever went to. So I was only 7.
yeah.
But
Still.
so I don't remember it other than the fact there was loads of people swearing, and I remember my mum, and it was the first time I'd experienced swearing. I don't really remember a great deal about it, but yeah, that was the only time I ever went. I've been to the Emirates tons though.
Have you seen the Highbury now?
Yeah.
It's I've only seen pictures of it.
It's literally you have to walk. You come out of the tube station, you literally have to walk past Highbury to get to the Emirates.
David, I'm not gonna lie, I've never been to that side of London, I apologize. I only know from the pictures. Hanu,
I was just explaining that's how it is. I can't. Which station is it? I think the station is literally just Arsenal. You come out and Highbury is almost literally opposite you.
Yeah, it's just offices now.
No, it's all apartments. It's apartments.
Oh, is it?
Mm. There's
Either
a picture
way,
literally
it's
next door to each other.
It's so disgusting. I don't like it.
It's sad. Just think.
It's so sad.
I'm glad.
How do you like the Emirates? How do you rank it up? In the stadium, with the stadiums as you've been.
It's a very nice stadium and it's very comfortable. The seats have all got leather padding on them, so you sometimes end up at the stadium and you just sit there and on these plastic chairs and it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's not like that at Arsenal. But there's no atmosphere in the stadium most of the time, which is a shame. There's it's just, but that's just the way it goes in a big stadium like that, and with football tourism and stuff. I think all the big clubs experience it to a
Brexit means Brexit.
Okay.
Send them out. No, because
that's just how it goes.
Yeah, no.
It's a very nice stadium. I can't lie. Prices are extravagant though for food.
I do feel like it's part of the state. Sure, you can go to the nicest stadium on earth, but if the atmosphere is not there, then that plays into what the stadium experience is. Yeah. I'd rather go to a shit box where you don't even want to sit down because the chairs are that disgusting, but everyone's up for it and it's just a great experience all around.
Oh yeah,
rather than somewhere with cushy seats.
The best Arsenal atmosphere I've ever experienced was when I went to an away match. You bunched in with the hardcore fans, the only fans who are willing to travel.
Yeah.
And that was the best Arsenal atmosphere I've had. I've had some really good experiences. I went to the match the year that Leicester won the league. I went to Arsenal Leicester, and we scored in the 93rd minute to win 2-1. And the stadium went mental, and everyone thought we can win the league now because Leicester were charging, but we were the only team at that point. I think it was Valentine's Day, February. We were the only team making a real charge for it. Chelsea were having a shit season. United were nowhere. And Welbeck scored a goal injury time, and that was the best atmosphere I've ever felt in that stadium. It was mental. It was
man like Danny Simpson.
It was a hell of an atmosphere when that goal went in, and we all honestly thought we're going to win the league here.
The fact that there was no shots on target.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Welbeck's hit the post. I can't remember about Walcott's though.
What about Vardy?
Vardy scored a penalty.
Scoring a penalty without having it on target. That's swag.
I don't know. But yeah, that was a mental game. That when that goal went in, man, it was crazy.
Honestly, speaking of atmosphere, I've sadly only been to one European football game, and that was that CSK Benfica game. Not Benfica, Basel game in the Champions League, and that atmosphere was pretty good. It was in the new stadium. But I guess just because it was a Champions League game, the atmosphere was pretty nice. It was cold as fuck. But the chants and the tifo and everything was great.
10 degrees, yeah.
It wasn't 10 degrees. It was 1 or 2 degrees. Don't disrespect me.
Hold on. I just read something on Twitter. Kovalenko to Atalanta or something.
Oh god, there's another
player. Not more Moranchik competition.
Yeah, that's sad.
Atalanta going full Eastern European with their attacking midfielders, Malinovsky.
Ilicic.
The reports, Shakhtar Donetsk, Kovalenko will have a medical with Atalanta this weekend and could join straight away.
For fuck's sake.
But apparently, according to the tweet that's quoting him, he's not even close to the level of Malinovsky. So
Good. Stay in the benches for another 7 years before Gasperini actually wants to play you.
yeah. Anyway, should we go over Zhaoidinov and all these guys here?
We will. I think first we're going to talk about big man Adolfo Gaich. Failed campaign in Russia, going back to Italy, rediscovering his roots and stuff. Artem, what do you think of Gaich to Benevento, and how will you remember his time in Russia?
I actually could not care less about that transfer.
I pretty much won't remember it. I will forget about it.
You think he'll do well?
No, he's fucking shit.
David,
there's a reason he moved to Benevento of all teams.
Yeah.
Benevento are better than both Fiorentina and Genoa though in the table right now, even though they're a tiny club.
I just can't see. I can't see what he offers. I don't know how he managed to get an Argentina cap. From what we saw at Sister, which wasn't a lot, granted. He only started a couple of times. He was unlucky in the first games. I was defending him because he had those two big chances.
Yeah.
Which you'd be saying you should be scoring, but they were difficult to execute, and both of them obviously he didn't score. But that would have been a huge blow to the confidence. But he really offers very little. You can see why he's nicknamed the Tank. I'm willing to be proven wrong. I hope he can make something from his career, but I can't see his European career going very well personally.
I'm actually not willing to be proven wrong. No one can prove to me that he's a good footballer.
Well, I'm just saying the same thing I said with Shomorodov. When he went to Italy, I was like, nah, this isn't it. It's just not going to go well.
I believed in him.
But, I thought his form was literally just it. That was it. I thought it was just form. It was just a blip. But, he's doing all right. He's done all right there.
Yeah, but you see, what you're saying is Shomorodov has gone from having form in the Russian league to having form in the Serie A.
Well, he's not even
Gaich does the same
better
thing.
Than I thought.
Having no form in the Russian league and having no form in the Serie A. I can't imagine.
I think
it's one of those things where do you ever sign someone on FM and you're like your scout or your assistant manager or whoever's doing the scouting for you tells you this player's 2-star right now, but he'll be 4.5, maybe 5-star. And you're like, oh, do you know what? It's worth the risk. And he comes in and he's 2-star, potential 2.5. That's what this is.
I think Gaich was Argentine propaganda to raise money. This man had 27 professional games of football and 7 goals before he joined CSK in Argentina. Why was he gassed so much?
It was all because of that international cap. It must be. That's the only reason
I swear. Let's actually have a look at that Argentina team, because I bet it was the worst Argentina team in history. Is he gonna show
probably. Because I think
wow.
It was
3 minutes.
It'll be one of those ones where it's all just Argentine-based players, probably.
Look at that. Acuna, some Martinez, Marcus Rojo was in that squad.
What they did was they put him on for Martinez to give Martinez a round of applause for his hat-trick. That is what happened.
Oh my, this guy is a fraud, bro.
Paredes, Tagliafico. I mean, there's some decent players in the squad, but Dybala was on the bench. But
there's no Lionel Messi. There's no
Messi, yeah.
What's his name? Aguero, and then all of those guys. But all right, so we put out the poll on Twitter as well, and that was we've now got 4 RPL players in the Serie A. And Artem, I want you to rank in descending order which one of the goals they'll score. Who will have the most goals? Who will have the second most goals? What are you saying?
Originally when I posed this question to you, I said Kokorin definitely. But then David made a really good point earlier in the podcast, is that he'll probably take a couple of weeks to get fit. And that's unideal, especially with how Miranchuk has been playing. Obviously he scored another goal in the cup there. It seems like he's probably going to get a bit more game time now that Papa Gomez is gone. So my opinion's actually changed on that. I think that it's going to be Miranchuk, then Kokorin, then Shomorodov, then Gaich. But I would love for Kokorin to be top there. But the only thing is, because Miranchuk is probably going to get more consistent games for a better team and already has a goal, probably unlikely that Kokorin's going to be there, but I don't know. I think he'll definitely score more than 2, and it's just whether Shomurodov can score more as well. What do you think?
I agree with your order. I think Miranchuk, Kokorin, Shomurodov, and Gaich. But I will say that Miranchuk, Kokorin, and Shomurodov, all 3 of them will have good seasons. But Shomurodov will have less goals simply because that's how that team plays. He might have more assists. He might have more like key passes or whatever.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I feel like just based off, following Genoa a little bit because of you mainly, because you keep posting about them.
Yes.
It seems like he's not like the focal point, the guy who's going to score the goals, but it seems like he's very important in the attacks. So I think that he, like, if you're ranking who's going to have the biggest impact on their team, Shomurodov might be top, and then it might be like either Kokorin or Miranchuk. Gaich, I'm still saying is last. I don't give a shit what anyone says. But I think goals wise, I think it's going to be one of the Russians. Yeah. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, Dave, what do you think?
I actually voted for Shomurodov in this poll. I think I hadn't thought of a top 4 order, but on the spot, I'm going to say it'll be Shomurodov, Kokorin, Miranchuk, Gaich. I just think Miranchuk's
going to outscore Miranchuk.
I just don't think Miranchuk's going to carry on getting. I think Gasparini's not going to play him as much for the rest of the season. I think he's going to stay in that role that he's in now, getting bench minutes for the rest of the season.
I don't know. Like with Papu Gomez gone, like that's big. Like the only real players now is Ilicic and Malinovsky, and it seems like Malinovsky and him can play in the same team.
But we'll see. I don't know. I can't see it happening. I think for some reason I just fancy Shomurodov to score a few more goals before the end of the season. And I feel, even though I put Kokorin ahead of Miranchuk, that's a risky one. But even as a sub, you still fancy Kokorin to score more. Let's just say I don't think Miranchuk, let's just say he doesn't score again. You'd still fancy Kokorin to get a couple off the bench, even if he's not going to be starting games.
How many games are left in the Serie A this season?
I don't know.
I think we have an entire half season, 19 odd games. 19 whole games.
19, okay. So that's potential 19 for each.
We're at Fiorentina now. Where are they? 12.
Benevento. Gaich plays for the best team in out of these 3.
Will those 4 players reach 15 goals overall this season?
No.
About 10.
10, yes. 15, no. I think
10 would be tight.
No, 10 would be tight. I think Gaich will get 1 goal. Token goal. It's fine. Give everyone a goal. I think Kokorin might get 4 or 5, maybe. I think Shomurodov will get 4 or I don't know. I think they'll breach 10 though.
Let's just put it this way, right? When Smolov went to Celta Vigo, would you have said he would have only scored 2 goals?
No, I thought he would get 5 at least.
So and they were obviously against 2 of the best teams. So it's hard to judge, I think they're going to be low scorers for the time being. I don't think we'll see Kokorin play, as I said, for a few weeks.
I think, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say that they're going to reach 15 goals between them.
Wow.
You think?
It's bold, but I did the calculation, right? There's 76 games potential for them. And they only need to score 12 more. That's only 1 every 6.5 games.
Jesus, you really did some maths, didn't you?
Yeah, so essentially 1 every 2 weeks.
You can tell he's all about the money.
Yeah, he is.
I'm telling you, I feel like they'll get 15. And to say that none of those players are going to score a brace at any point.
Here's what I see. Miranchuk obviously scored the winner last night, but he got the lowest match rating in all the papers.
Well, the papers are frauds, okay?
But he came off. I mean, I watched the first half, and then he obviously scored while I was out, and then got subbed off 2 minutes later. And that seems to be the case. Whenever he does start, he gets subbed off quite early.
But Gasparini is a fraud. The papers are all frauds. You don't care about that anyway. But I think this will. I think they'll get 10 with ease, and this might go against the table I just gave. I think Shomurodov will hit 5. I think Miranchuk will hit at least 3, and I think these two between them will get like a goal each at least. So I think they'll.
You
hit
know
10.
what? I'm gonna say Gaich is gonna score 15 by himself. He's gonna carry that table.
Imagine if that
Okay,
happens.
let's just kick Artem off the call. We can't be having that nonsense.
No. You know what though? Like, I don't think that's an outrageous call that it's 15. Like,
Nah, it's
I think.
Do you want to? Something's just come up on Twitter and it's reminded me when I first joined Twitter. Right, I was following accounts, trying to find accounts to follow and stuff.
Right.
You know, all to do with football and stuff. And it was early days. I probably joined Twitter in like 2010 or something when I had my first original OG account, if not earlier.
Wow.
And I remember following this account. I thought, oh, I know this guy, I know this footballer. I'll follow him. And then it took me a while, but I realized later on he was not the footballer that I thought he was. But it was rapper J. Cole, and I thought I was following Joe Cole.
Oh
my God!
Because I'd never heard of J. Cole as a rapper. I just saw J. Cole come up. I was like, oh, that's Joe Cole. I'm going to follow him.
That is beautiful.
And I still don't know really who J. Cole is, but I've just seen him trending on Twitter, and it's like, oh, I remember this guy who I followed and thought he was Joe Cole, the footballer.
Oh, jeez, Joe Cole's after getting a tan. When did he get dreaded?
Well, but at the time, right, he didn't have a picture on his profile, like it was just a logo or something.
2010 was like the year he broke out, so I feel you, yeah.
Oh, that would have been so funny though. Like if David's just there on Twitter, he's like, "Why the hell does Joe Cole keep talking about drugs?"
Yeah. And why is he not in the Liverpool team? Like, what is going on here? Why is he in New York when like Liverpool? But that is hilarious, though. You know Mike Dean, the referee.
Yeah.
There's also a really famous rap producer called Mike Dean. So that's
yeah. Every single time I see that, I'm like, oh, I just can't listen to this song anymore.
It trips my head. Like I don't know which one is which at times. So.
Really? You don't know which one is which?
No, but I see the name right in a headline, and for a brief split second, because I follow both rap people and football people, I don't know which one they're talking about for like a split second. And then I see Mike Dean's bald head, and then I realize they're talking about Mike Dean, the referee.
I wonder if there are any any Russian footballers who share their name, or footballers in Russia that share their name with like someone else that's really famous.
Zalim Khan Bakayev.
Yeah. Whenever I Google Zalim Khan Bakayev, I get the other one. And the other one is not a good background.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Artem, I told that to you as well. Like when you Google Zalim Khan Bakayev.
Yeah, there's another Zalim Khan Bakayev who was like a Chechen singer or something, and he was killed because there was rumors that he was gay or something.
What the fuck?
Poor fella. Rest in peace.
It's part of the Kadyrov thing, you know. We know how terrible Kadyrov is.
Holy shit! That's actually insane. What the fuck? I feel like there's got to be a documentary about this guy.
Probably is.
He's still listed as disappeared though.
Yeah.
That's
mad. But Zalim Khan Bakayev as a footballer, I really had high hopes for him. I called him better than Miranchuk. Remember that, Artem?
Yeah, I can't honestly. Remember I did that poll on Twitter, and so many people were saying Bakayev, get the fuck out of here.
Thing is, he's still the top assister in the league right now. I believe in him. He got COVID. He had a bad run of COVID. Now he's back.
Don't get me wrong. I think he's a really good player. He's just not better than Miranchuk. You cannot convince me.
Yeah, that's fair. I won't lie to you. What else we got this week? David, you hit Khimki. Tell us about their actual. Why are they making good signings?
I don't know. I was very against this signing, obviously. Dagestan. I mean, I don't know a great deal about him. I think he's a Swedish international, young centre back. You know, apparently he was very highly rated at one stage, but has sort of dropped off the last year or so. But you don't want to see Khimki like signing actual players. you want to see them not signing players and then slowly dissolving out of existence, a bit like Tambov. So
Have
yeah,
we
a bit
talked
disappointed
about
by
Tambov
that.
yet?
What?
Have we talked about Tambov yet?
We briefly mention them every week, but they're dying. What do
No,
you
but
think,
it's
Artem?
confirmed. It's confirmed now. I feel like it's been confirmed in the last week or so.
But
Yeah.
didn't it get unconfirmed as well at a stage by the president?
Exactly. That's the thing. It keeps getting confirmed and it keeps getting unconfirmed.
It's not looking good. Like obviously all these players leaving, or Anucha, Jalidinov,
Yeah.
Tefrishvili, and they've lost a load of other players as well.
Like the
It's not
most
looking good for them.
on life support they might get to the end of the season by playing youth players. But
I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to play any more games. That's the way I see it. That's what I've read. Like,
it's a shame. Obviously, we don't want to see football clubs doing that, especially But it would have been more of a shame if they've been playing in their hometown the whole time. The fact that they've become a pilot club, just flying around Russia, playing wherever they fancy or whatever. When they got promoted, obviously the stadium wasn't very good, but they were saying, "Oh yeah, we'll do up our stadium, we'll play there eventually." They never played there once yet. And if they ever get relegated, let's say they don't dissolve and they're still a club, are they going to go back to playing in Tambov again? Like, what's going to happen? Are all their fans who live in Tambov going to carry on supporting them? Have they been traveling to Saransk every game? Surely not.
They don't have any fans, and I'm not going to miss them at all. Like if a club's dying, it's Tambov. I don't mind it. There are worse clubs to get killed. Artem, are you sad to see Tambov leave?
Not really.
No one is.
Fuck those guys. Like, you know what I think? Like, I honestly respect clubs who are just like mid-table FNL, but like survive. Like, these clubs always come into the RPL and do these outrageous things, or just spend their money and spend money they don't have, essentially, and they end up going under. And it happens like every 2 years.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no sympathy for any of those clubs or any of those owners.
Yeah,
Can I
go on?
Okay, I just also noticed they actually signed a player, Saveli Kozlov, there at the
Exactly.
bottom, which is actually not a bad signing, to be fair. I wanted to ask two questions. First, can you right-click on the club that Matricardi moved to, Hermannstadt? Where are they from?
Romania.
Romania. Okay, it's a weird name. And also, I wanted to just bring up the Yusupov transfer there for Alta Volga.
Yeah,
that's a really odd one, right? Because Orenburg signed from Volga, their top scorer, Dmitry Vorobiev, I think his name is.
Yes.
And then Orenburg had Yusupov on loan the first half of the season. Ural recalled him from Orenburg and have now sent him out to the club that used to have Vorobiev. And I find that a bit shady, to be honest. Especially because Orenburg and Volga are both owned by Gazprom.
This is why we love David. This is because I would have never noticed that, but that is a bit shady. I do remember that Vorobiev transfer was really weird.
Yeah, because he just left Volga, who are Gazprom sponsored, to join Orenburg, who are also Gazprom sponsored.
No, you know what was even weirder? He came back from Volgard, then he went on loan to Khimki, but Arshavin recalled him and then sold him permanently.
No. Different Vorobiev.
Oh, really? My bad.
Yeah, you're thinking of Vorobiev from Zenit. You're thinking of the Zenit Vorobiev. Well. Yeah, that was dodgy, to be fair.
That was pretty dodgy.
That's the one from Zenit. This is a guy who was in the Krasnodar Academy when he was a kid. He's like 24 now, I think. And he scored like 8 or 9 goals for Volga in the first half of the season. He's joined Orenburg on a permanent deal. That was just a weird one.
Look, Volga are building a team. They're signing Nikolaev and some of these other people you may have heard of. But apart from that, Artem, what do you think of Rotor having no regard for the foreigner limit? Just signing Kazakhs, signing Georgians, signing random. They have a Croatian in goal. What do you think?
I think you'll find that they have regard to the foreigner limit, and that's why they're being able to get away with it, and because they're signing players from the neighboring countries.
But I respect it, really. I respect that sort of.
I do. I highly like. I think that's a. It's a really underused strategy, I feel, because I do think that like countries like Kazakhstan and like Armenia, any of those other countries, all of those countries that are under like that don't count as foreigners. They have to have players at RPL level,
Yeah.
and like you could probably get them way cheaper than Russian players. So why not try to use that? And I think Rotor are smart in doing that. So
Yeah,
I'll be interested to
definitely.
see how they get on.
Definitely. It's a
That's
smart
fair.
move, exactly for exactly what Artem just said. Cheap,
Yeah, I agree. I think
low risk.
they're still over the limit, I think, by 1 or 2 players. So I think they might have to sell one of the Georgians. I think Zurigo or Maikl Tadze, one of them. But I think apart from that, actually, the thing was they signed another Georgian centre back, and for a while he was in here, and now he's just been taken off. I don't know if he was a trialist, but we even announced the deal from RFN that
Wait,
Beriashvili guy.
who are the? He's on trial still, though, right? Who are the foreigners? They got Jondrich, Kvekvelia, Gugua. That's 3.
3. Then there's 4, 5,
Zuriko,
6, 7,
Arabidze,
8. Actually, no, my bad.
Flammarion, Ponce, Mikhail Tadze. Yeah, 8.
My
Well, yeah,
bad.
that's obviously why they got rid of the Argentinian guy, because they were doing all of this stuff.
Yeah, and there was no need for him anyway, because you've already got 2 of the best centre backs in the league, in Gogova and Quilquelia.
Stepanov's done really well too. I think Shomko will have trouble displacing him. Although in theory you'd play Shomko because Kazakh international.
Yeah, you
Load of
can
experience,
alternate. I
but
think.
Stepanov's got like some of the highest tackle stats in the league this season, if
Yeah,
not the highest.
I think they might play Shomko at right back, honestly, over Manacharyan. I'm not sure, because he can play on both wings, so maybe they might do that.
David, how do you how did you react to the news of Leon Musaev moving to Rubin? That seems to be
I don't care for it because I don't rate him that highly. Whenever he's been given the chance for Zenit as a starter, which isn't often, but usually towards the end of the season, he does not impress me. So a 5-year deal, granted Zenit have a buyback in there as well. 5-year deal, €500,000 is not something I'm greatly thrilled about because I don't know. I think currently he is not good enough to play in our midfield, right?
yeah.
He's Russian, obviously, which is a boon. We've still got to get rid of a foreigner because we've got too many. Well, now we've brought in Saito. So in the midfield, you've got Abdulgar, who has been, let's be honest, one of the best midfielders in the league this season. You've got Saito, you've got Yevtich, you've got not Konovalov because he's gone now, and you've got Huang as well, and Shatov, who has occasionally played deep. So if he comes in, he's not going to be a starter in that team. Granted, he's got the versatility. I think he's playing fullback a bit of his in it recently, occasionally. But I remember that game. What was the game where he got subbed off before half time because he was just being so reckless in a nothing game towards the end of the season for Zenit? Like that's how bad he was in that game.
Yeah, I actually agree with you there. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'd like to believe that Musaev was gonna become a real big player, but he hasn't really impressed me either.
But that's it. We've been after him for a while. I remember we tried to get him on loan a couple of times before as well, I think, off you. So obviously we finally gone for it and we're seemingly going to get him. But I don't know. I'm hoping he can prove me wrong because I want Rubin to succeed, and if he can help, then I'm all for it. But I think he'll end up going nowhere. I think Mogilevets would have been better to keep around than Musaev.
Hanu, do you want to?
Yeah,
do you want to say anything about Mogilevets?
Oh yeah, I found out I think yesterday or the day before that Mogilevets' name is Mogilevets and not Moglievets, and that amused me for a good 5 minutes.
I love transliterations of Russian names. Like obviously we all use, other than Artyom, me and Hanu obviously open Russian websites and it auto translates to English, right?
Yeah.
I guess you do that. So you get Dmitry Polos come up as runner or
Yes.
snake occasionally and things like that. I love seeing stuff like that.
I do as well. That
there are some great ones.
Artur Cherny is always Artur Black.
Yeah.
Locomotive. Someone earlier today, I can't remember it, but that made me laugh as well.
There's a Medved, which is Bear, right? So there's a guy called Medved who's just Vladimir Bear, which is also a great one.
Artem, do you want to talk about the best name in football that we discovered yesterday, or that I discovered yesterday? Did you find it as funny as I did?
Clearly not, because I don't remember who you're talking about.
This is
Oh yeah.
what a man. Orenburg's new signing.
I really
Seaman
I
Urine.
really
No, listen, no.
I think it would have been funnier if his first name was Urine Seaman.
It's still hilarious though. Like it's
I don't know. I think I really wish his name were backwards. I think he'd get a move to an English club if that was the case.
I think it's hilarious though. Still.
Hanu, can you pull up the picture that we found yesterday? I feel like we need to share this.
Which picture?
The guy in the Kuban kit.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's a great one.
Because that was I can't believe I'd never seen it before. It's fantastic.
We do have just like a couple more topics, but that is more important. 37-year-old. This is this. Some Rostov guy retired. His name was Bendz.
Sergey Bendz.
Mercedes Benz. This is, you know, those like Champions League photos where there's priceless, that MasterCard thing, and then Messi. This is much better.
It's just so good.
So it has to be in a Europa League game, right? Like why is
No,
Mercedes?
because there's a watermark on the bottom right, which is Lokomotiv's watermark. So it's a league game, Loko versus Kuban from however many years ago, presumably.
There used to be I think this is Kuban playing at home. They used to have a big Mercedes-Benz thing in their stadium.
Okay, fair enough. But like
whatever is it? It's so good.
It's
so good, and obviously only the people who can read Russian will understand it.
Yeah.
But for those who obviously don't, that guy's name is Benz.
It's Benz and it's
Mercedes Benz.
It's pretty beautiful.
You know, explaining the joke always makes it funnier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Well, no, I feel we need to just cater to those in our audience who can't read that.
And the Spotify listeners who can't even see it.
Oh yeah, that's very true.
All two of them.
So, you both just called our listeners, first of all, illiterate and deaf. Good luck digging yourself out of that one.
Listen, our listeners are nice. We love you all. That's the cleanup. But for our final topic, right, David, you're the stat merchant of the RPL. I want to ask you, name the top 3 foreigners with the most goals in the RPL ever.
Ever. So we're talking post-Soviet. If you're just saying RPL, yes. Right?
Yeah.
Oh God. I mean, obviously, immediately I'm leaning towards like a Wellington or a Doumbia, but Doumbia wasn't around for that long, I don't feel. So I might say Wellington as one of my answers.
No, Wellington's not there.
Oh, man. It's going to be all players from like before my time, isn't it? Damn.
No, you know all 3 of them very well.
Oh, damn. That's even worse. Just non-Russians, right?
Yeah, but they're all foreigners. They all.
Oh yeah, but I was thinking like Kornilenko maybe because he's been around.
Kornilenko's 4th, so that's a good shout.
Ooh, because I know he was at Zenit and scored all over for a while. Shit, man.
Actually, I want to see why Seydou Doumbia is not in this list, because I feel like
just don't think he was in Russia that long.
Seydou Doumbia is in Malta now, by the way, which is insane.
Him and Toka.
Him and Toka.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Toka posted it in the different chat on Twitter. He was in Russia there for 2 or 3 seasons only.
He has played in a lot of competitions.
And he only had one really good season there. Look, 20 goals there. Before that, it wasn't that big.
He has 95, but it's only 66 in the RPL, right? So he's not in the top 3.
Damn.
Artem, can you guess, by the way?
Oh, yeah, Artem, you chuck some guesses in as well, man.
All right, Wagner Love.
Wagner Love is number 1. Well
done. Oh, Wagner Love. How did I forget him?
Sick. I'm happy with that. Yeah. Now, no matter what I say. I've done well.
The second one, Artem, I brought up to you 2 days ago. So if you
Oh.
don't know this, then I'm not going to be friends with you anymore. I'll be sad.
The other day you brought up.
Man, you ain't even listen to what I say these days, man. That's some...
I just don't remember. A lot of things happen in my days, you know.
Okay, number 2 and 3 are both Zenit players. David and Artem, I'll help you with that since this quiz was
Ratiteke?
going on. No.
It can't be.
Rondon,
No.
Asmoon.
Yes, Asmoon is
I
number
did-
2.
Oh yeah.
Asmoon
it
was
is
lingering, but I thought has he
Asmoon
scored that much to
Asmoon
be
has
up
the
there?
second most goals for any foreigner in Russian football history with 70, right? Wagner Love is 85. Do you think Asmoon is going to become number 1?
No.
If he sticks around for another year, like a whole calendar, like the whole of 2021, then yes, I feel like he could score 15, 16 goals this calendar year. But I expect he could leave this summer.
I think he will leave this summer. Artem, you don't think he's going to do it?
I think he's going to leave this summer. That's why I like.
I hope
I think
Do
that
you think-
he said something recently that he wants a new challenge.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, third's got to be Hulk then, right?
Now, third's Danny. 4 is...
Holy fuck! That
Danny played 270 games, though. That's the thing.
yeah, that's the thing. He played
Well,
for
have you got the
Dinamo
list
as
here, or
well.
is it just on your phone? Or something?
Yeah,
Can I see
I'll
this?
bring up the list now that we're done with the quizzy quiz.
Quizzy quiz.
Um,
And
the
I
quiz
failed
quiz.
dramatically.
Yeah, I thought you're Asmoon. Like you are.
I did say I thought about him, but I thought surely not. But then I was trying to top up all his seasons.
Yeah, see, number 1 is Wagner Love, 116, 85 and 169. Then is Asmoon. Then is Danny. It's Ali, and then it's Seydou
Ari,
Dembélé,
yeah.
whose
Where's
ratio is
Kornilenko?
actually.
Where's Kornilenko?
Kornilenko is. I'll find the Belarusian flag somewhere.
Right,
He's
here's another one. Who's the foreigner who's played the most games?
Oh, it's some Lithuanian guy. Quincy Promes is there. Wellington is there. Hulk scored a lot in Europe as well already. So
I knew Wellington had a couple of big seasons. Naboa's pretty good. Fair play to him.
Yeah.
Shout out Christian Naboa.
But let me give you the top foreigners thing. It's some Lithuanian, the Sembras guy or something. Yeah, see?
Simbera Siska. Yeah. Gatskan, Berezovsky, yeah.
The only cool name is Noboa in this list. Look at that. Look at the hairlines of everyone in this list.
I don't know. Kalachov was one of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still.
Danny is in top 10 there, to be fair, as well.
Danny is a legend.
Can I just say, do you remember Timofey Kalachov like two years ago when he was like 38 or something? Had one of the best seasons in RPL history.
Oh, he was incredible. I had his inform on FIFA, which was like a right wing back card.
Oh.
I stuck him in cam and he would just bang goals in from everywhere.
Bring the RPL back on FIFA. Oh my god, look at this. 10 assists in 25 games. That's mad.
That's what I mean. Like that season was just
the
mental.
year when they qualified for Europe.
And hang on. What is that? 4 goals and 5 assists in the season after as well.
Yeah, which isn't bad either.
That year where
so good.
one of my favorite Asmoon goals was actually scored for Rostov rather than for Rubin. Was from
against
a
Bayern.
No, it was the one. I think it's a header against Ural, and it's just the most ridiculous header. He puts classic Asmoon jump on it.
Yeah.
And that's the color. I just remember Kalachov having. Just was so good that year. Against Ajax? He was unbelievable against Ajax, in the Champions League qualies. Kalachov, he was unbelievable in that game. The Rostov home leg, I'm pretty sure.
Speaking of our last topic, because we've already gone on for a fair bit, Quincy Promes is being heavily linked to a return, 12 million euros. For a bit, they said the deal was done. Now they're saying it's off the table, and they're still. Some people are saying it's still being negotiated. Artem, quickly, I think he will do very well. I think he will tear up the league still. Artem, what do you think if he comes back?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's where his career peaked, so to speak. So I think that he'd be right back there, and I think the fans love him. He loves the fans. He loved Moscow when he was there. So I think it's just what he needs for his career, and I think that it would be a great sign for Spartak.
Yeah, I'll before David, I'll go as far as to say if they sign him, I think they can do a title push. they can really challenge them for the title. I don't care.
I
how
think
much
that
the
they can
gap
challenge
is.
for the title even without him. But I think that if they have him, then I think that it's actually quite likely that they'll win.
Yeah, that's fair. Because his stats aren't bad. Like six goals, 18 games. That's not bad. It's just the fact that he stabbed someone and was in jail that puts people off. But
Yeah, but look, Kokorin did some bad shit too, and he's just got his move. So
yeah, if we're okay with Kokorin, we have to be okay with Promes, who hasn't even been convicted. And I hope like everything is fine. I don't know. Yeah, but let's paper over that crack. David, what do you think?
I mean, I sort of feel like it's a risk because if he comes back and bombs, then it just tarnishes his legacy, doesn't it, a bit? So I wouldn't probably be signing him if I was Spartak, but we know he's got the quality to do well. So if he does, I hope he does well because it'd be a shame to ruin his legacy.
No, I think both him and Hulk will do well if they come back. His middle name is Anton as well.
yeah, that's why
that's why they
people
always
call
used
them
to call him
Antofa.
Antofo,
Oh,
yeah.
that's mad. That I didn't know that was why he was called Anton. That makes sense actually. But thanks a lot, David, again for coming on. We've discussed a lot this week.
Yeah.
Next week, hopefully, we've got some special guests lined up for you guys. Some big guests. Hopefully, we can also take the pod to the next level. Artem, you want to do the honors again?
Sure. So,
Why are you so sad?
like
That's
always,
such an
if you
unenthused show.
enjoyed, please leave a like, a gold medal on SportRex. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if you think Promes would do well in the Russian league again. If Kokorin would score more goals than Gaich and all of the others. And yeah, so we'll talk to you all next week.